Welcome to EDC Journeys. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Enjoy! For those of you who don't know, Lawson's is a microbrewery here in Vermont, and Sip of Sunshine is one of their major brands or lines that everyone seeks. People line up for it, believe it or not. What's going on, EDC people, and what is our journey today? We are going to talk about the Kershaw Leek, um, an old design that's been out for a long time, but seeing as how I'm new to the journey, and maybe you are too, this may be the first time you're seeing it or seeing it reviewed or uh, whatever. So, first of all, thanks to BigRedEDC for allowing me to take a look at this. I have not, I mean, I've seen the leak, but I have never handled one before this one. So let's go ahead and get some facts out of the way first. It is a speed, what do they call it? It doesn't say on here. Yes, it does. Speed safe. Okay, so it's an assisted opener, in other words. So you just gently flick that and it pops right out. Okay, the retraction, you feel the spring. It's not bad though. It's not like the big old trace or anything where you have to push hard. If I'm gonna have the speed safe design, I don't mind it on this one so much. Okay, the blade length is just about 3 inches. It's listed as 3 inches. I came up with 2.9, whatever, with a handle of 4 inches. So overall, handle of 4 inches, overall about 7 inches long. The weight is 3 ounces. Now, let's talk about the blade. Well, actually, before we move on to the blade, let's talk about the handle. It's a very thin, well, at least for me, it's a very thin knife. It's about 0.3 inches thick, which is 9.1 millimeters. So to me, that's very thick. Look at that. That's like half backspacer. I like that. It protects the blade and keeps stuff from going in. Oh, that's why there's those triple screws there. I get it now. Hi. Um, Now, with the Speed Safe comes a safety, and it's kind of, I don't know if it's a unique design or if it's a unique design to me that I haven't seen before, as I have not handled many Kershaws or Kershaw Leeks. But right now, obviously, the safety is off. To engage the safety, you have this little sliding screw, and what it does is, by the way, it's literally 52 degrees, so it's cold. Cold compared to what it has been. Yeah, so anyways, you slide that this way, it moves that pin in the way, and when you go to deploy, nothing happens. So that's how the safety works. I actually just recently found the safety. I never knew it was there. I've not needed it. We'll come back to that though when we talk about the clip. Okay, so let's move on to the blade. The blade is made, well, there's several models of the Leek at this point. They've created it and recreated it. It's been such a successful design that Kershaw created it in many different models and exclusives and forms to sell it and sell it again. This model is 14C28N, which is a Sandvik steel. Now, I've been told by another an influential YouTuber, let's just say, that because I wasn't familiar with 14C28N at all. I had never had used it. He said that the hardness compares to 3V, the retention compares to VG10, so that's the retention, and then the corrosion resistance compares to LMAX. So if you're a steel wonk and you know what all that means, great. I've never used LMAX. I'm not familiar with it, so corrosion resistance to LMAX, not sure if that's good or bad. I assume it's good. Hardness comparing to 3V, I think that is good. I believe 3V is a hard steel. And then retention of VG10. I do have a lot of experience with VG10 as I started with cooking knives and chef knives. VG10 is a great steel. It's very similar, if not identical, to AUS10, AUS10A. It holds. It has a. What am I trying to say? I, the edge can come to a very very sharp edge. It can be sharpened up nicely and easily, and I think it's the carbides or something like that in it that are well made or well formed or small enough or something like that that allows. I just noticed you see the shadow of my phone. Sorry about that. Uh, but that allows you to sharpen the knife at such a great angle. The blade stock thickness is about 2.3 millimeters at the thickest part. I do not know still how to measure the behind the edge, but I looked it up and it says 24 thousandths behind the edge thickness. That sounds large to me compared to the other thicknesses behind the edge I've seen lately, but 24 thousandths, that seems okay to me. I can tell you that it's a hollow ground blade, so 24 thousandths or not, it seems to do just fine. Um, the blade shape I love. It's not completely flat. Let me see. Do I have something? Not really. Well, you can tell it's not completely flat. At the very, very end, it kind of swoops up very gently. So it's almost, I've heard it called a modified Warncliffe. To me, it's basically a Warncliffe with I guess some modified tip. I like that. I like that a lot. It gives you basically the functions of a Warncliffe with just enough of a belly, or I didn't even want to call it a belly, but a swoop to do some other work, I guess you could say. But mostly Warncliffe work, which is great for EDC. Um, it is a black coated DLC blade on this model. Again, they've made several different versions. I've heard there's Damascus, there's satin blade. I'm not sure if this is a specific exclusive or sold through a certain company or a retailer. Again, this came from another YouTuber, so I would have to find that out. But this particular one has the DLC coated blade. Excuse me. The handle is a T6, at least again on this model, is a T6 anodized aluminum. I will tell you, I discuss the handle materials often. We go through micarta and G10 and aluminum. As it's 52, 53 degrees right now, I can feel the coldness on this aluminum. I can tell that in the winter, in winter in Vermont, it can get pretty cold. That might not be the most comfortable without gloves. Even in pocket, it could get very cold. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to tell. We'll have to check. I mean, um, let's see here. The depth. Now We're talking the blade depth, and I measured at the thickest point here was 20 millimeters. Okay, and then again, like always, I measure from again at the. I'm trying to show you. The sun's kind of making this hard. You can see where the hollow grind starts, where that flat is. So I measure the whole thing at 20 millimeters, and then it's approximately 14 millimeters from the flat to the edge, to the apex. Again, it's a hollow design, which for the short depth of the blade works really great. I'm glad it's hollow. If it were anything but hollow, I don't know if it would be as slicey and great as it is. But it is hollow ground. The choil. The choil is 2.3 millimeters at its thickest, and it goes. Let me zoom right in. So it's 2.3 millimeters at its thickest right here, and it just plunges right down to that supposed behind the edge thickness of 24 thousandths of an inch. There is no. Let me zoom back out. There is no sharpening choil. you could easily put one in, and I think that ultimately, if I keep this and steal it from BigRedEDC, uh, I will put a sharpening choil in just for the sake of sharpening because I love using my knives, and ultimately, when let me zoom in. I continue to sharpen this over and over again, it'll start to, you can already see where it would smile there. If I put a little, little tiny sharpening choil there, I'll be able to get the whole blade nice and straight. And speaking of, while we're zoomed in on the blade, look how nice and reflective that is right now anyways. It does need to be sharpened. I have been using it, so it's got some scratch patterns, or some scratches, and a couple of little burry spots. The tip needs a little bit of work. So it does need to be sharpened. Ergos. It's pretty obviously a sleek design, but the height and the sleek, it's not tall. The how tall was it? I'm trying to remember the handle tall. I'm sure I have it somewhere, but we'll do from about the tallest, 21 millimeters. And it can change wherever I take it, but if I take it at the thickest point, excuse me, about 21.2 millimeters. So uh, considering that with the thickness and the sleekness of it, rather, it's comfortable in hand. There is something that makes it uncomfortable. Well, something that I could complain about, but we'll get back to that. And I'm pointing at it right now. Okay. Um, there is some, if you look really closely, there is round. It is. I don't know if that's necessarily called chamfering, but it's rounded. So it's not just squared off and sharp. It does have some ergos in mind. Um, could you slip up on this? Is this a finger choil? Kind of. Not. I don't think it's really designed to be, but you could put your finger there if you wanted to. I suppose if you really wanted to get some detail work done. But I think that most people probably are going to hold it here. And you can see some jimping on the blade. You can also see, I'm going totally out of order of my thoughts here now, but the thumb studs are the actual stop. So when I flick it, it's the thumb studs, kind of like on a couple of hingers I know, and I'm sure many others, but that's the one I can think of, that's the stop pins. I've heard that that's a good thing. I don't know if it's just for like maintenance and cleanliness, or if there's other reasons, but that's another thing I will have to learn, or we can learn together, or someone can tell me down below in the comments. Excuse me. The action, considering it's a speed safe, it comes out fast. I mean, as you've seen, it comes out real fast. I don't like most people that you'll hear, I don't care for assisted flippers. But this is one of very few that I've used that I actually don't mind. The tension pulling it back is not bad, so I can easily, as you see, do it with one hand. There is a cutout to access or not the handle, but the lock bar on the side. So while it is I was just about to say, well, it is left hand and right hand. It's not. It's a right hand only. They do give you the option though to flip the. I'm trying to hold it in the sun. There's shade and sun where you can kind of see it better. See, right now it is tip down carry, which is now not a common thing. Normally people like tip up these days. Let me move the camera just a touch. Maybe we can get some better lighting here. Okay. You can tell though, if you take this clip and turn it around and put it here, you're going to have a huge portion of the knife sticking out as opposed to this. Okay, so while it's not necessarily deep carry, it's deep enough. It's a deep enough carry. That's what I'll call this clip. But if you moved it over here, you're talking probably down here. I mean, you're looking at like nearly a full inch of space coming out of the pocket. It's just too much. That and tip up with the auto assist if you are not into using the safety, that could be an issue. Uh, now I said I'd get back to the clip. Well, before I do, let me tell you the last thing. I want the clip to be the last thing, so let me just tell you the last note I have here. It runs on phosphor bronze. I'm trying to find a position to show you. If I can. Kind of dirty in there, huh? I'm not sure exactly how I can show you this. Can you see? Whatever. It's phosphor bronze, and that's fine. That's fine by me. They'll stay clean as a work knife. As it's used, they will polish up and even become smoother. And some people even take them out and polish them to make it smoother. But with an auto assist and the way that it's retracting, I don't think it's necessary. I think it just in general needs to be cleaned. Um, Now the clip, it's huge. Okay, the clip is huge. It's not in a excuse me. It's not in a great spot. You have to do tip down basically. It's not left hand usable, and when you hold it, it's so sleek that there's no way to avoid feeling it. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the solution would be to that unless you just redesigned it completely, basically. There's no way to not feel the clip. Now, that having been said, this part right here is kind of the only part that bugs me. And that lands, let me see if I can grip it and kind of show you right where it hits. I don't know if you can tell on my hand, it's kind of like right there. So if I were going to use this in a prolonged way, it definitely would be annoying. Let me come around the other side of this tripod. It would definitely be annoying. This is one of the made in USA models. It's a Ken Onion design. I heard a story on another YouTube channel. I want to say it was Nick Shabazz, so I don't want to take credit for the story. I believe it was his channel that I heard this on. Look at that sunlight off the edge. Isn't that cool? I heard that Ken Onion is not his name. That apparently he made the when he went to the person at Kershaw that he cried or something, and so it reminded him of an onion. So it kind of became his nickname, Ken Onion. And then I also heard that I guess the guy was like, "So are we gonna do that design?" And he said, "Well, hold on, I gotta go take a leak." Onion leak. I don't know. I don't know if that was Nick Shabazz being funny, or if that was him hearing something that wasn't true. But I just listened to that a little while ago this morning, and I thought I'd share it. If it's true, it's pretty funny. And then Ken Onion has a whole line of knives that basically, follow that name scheme. The leek, which is this, I think there's a scallion. I'm not gonna think of anything now, am I? Oh my gosh, what are the little ones called? Of course, the chive, I think has one. And of course, because I'm trying to think of it, I can't think of any of the other ones. But they're all onion-related names. Um, what is that? Shallot. Isn't there a shallot? Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. But anyways, there's probably a few more I'm not thinking of, but they all kind of follow that same theme, which is kind of cool. I was under the impression until that Nick Shabazz story that was just his name, Ken Onion, and then they named the knives basically after that. Ken Onion designed it, so we'll name this the leek, this one the shallot, this one the chive, this one the whatever. I know I'm missing some. So that's basically my overall look at it. I've been using it as an EDC. I love the fact that, let me go back down a little bit now. I love the fact that it's sleek. I don't have many really sleek knives like this. I do like that it's the T6 aluminum, but I don't know how it's going to feel in the winter. And I will be the first one to be able to tell you because it's going to get cold here in Vermont real soon, as you can see, as it is what, let's see, 2 o'clock in the afternoon at 52 degrees. It was 32 this morning when I woke up. So, you know, it's definitely gonna be different than my Carta and even G10. What else on this? I get the hype, just like I've been saying on the last few. You know, I know this is an older model that several people know about. If you're watching this, you either probably don't, or you're interested in it again, or something, or you just follow my channel religiously, which thank you. Um, I like the fact that it's a USA made one. What else can I say? I like the sleekness. I love the Warncliffe shape. You know, again for the auto assist, this is the kind of the one design that I don't mind it on. It flings right out there and is very easy to play with, or oops, not play with, but put away and play with. Um, the Warncliffe blade, you know, it's the closest thing to a Warncliffe I have until the mail person comes right now, which is why I'm outside doing this video, because I'm waiting for the mail lady to show up with a package. Yeah, so listen, it's an old design. It's an oldie but goodie. If you need an EDC, if you, there's several different models of them out there, so you can probably find one that's right up your alley as far, you know, maybe it's this one, maybe it's not. But I'm sure you can find one that suits your fancy, and as far as the ergonomics, blade shape, uh, it's great. And then if you get the 12C 28N, I think it's called. Yeah, that's what it is, 12C 28N. Here going to, everything is blowing around here. I'm sorry, 14C 28N, not 12C. See, good thing I write notes. Uh, you know, that's a great steel. I think that they do have other ones though, like 154 cm and different versions. So, you know, just be aware of what you're looking at. But this, I believe, steel types, scale types might change, but overall, it's basically the same. So, if you need a good solid EDC, there is a reason why this is probably Kershaw's, well, at least in their top few sellers for what, a decade or so now. So I'm happy that on my journey I've discovered it. The model of this one is 1660H3. I'm not sure if that will identify the retailer that this particular one comes from, or if this is just the stock version. I don't know. I can't wait to play more with the steel. I can't wait to sharpen it. And that will be another sharpening I do on video, just because it's a steel I've never done before. Okay? Don't know how soon it'll happen, but it'll be coming sometime soon. So that, my friends, is the Kershaw Leek. If you have any questions, comments, write them down below. If I've said something wrong, let me know. If you think it's a good idea for new people to get an EDC, you know, to go for the Leek, let everyone know down below. I can't wait to hear from you. You know I love interacting with all of you, so leave a comment. If you see the heart, you know I've read it, and if I haven't replied right away, I will. Okay, guys. Until the mail lady comes, I'm out. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up. For more content like this, consider subscribing, and then hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything.